Long ago, in a calm village surrounded by towering trees, juicy mango orchards, and gentle flowing rivers, there lived a young woman named Amara. She was the only daughter of Mama Daniel and Papa Daniel, humble farmers who cherished her deeply. Amara was not just pretty, she was stunning beyond words. Her skin shined like fresh honey beneath the sunlight, her eyes sparkled like diamonds in water, and her long dark hair flowed like a black river at midnight. Everywhere she went, people turned to stare. Some even said the spirit of beauty must have shaped her with special care. But behind that beauty lived a heart poisoned by arrogance. Every morning, while other young women swept compounds, fetched water, or helped their mothers prepare meals, Amara sat proudly before a polished mirror her father once bought from traveling merchants. She would admire herself endlessly, tilting her head from side to side and smiling proudly. "Who in this village can compare to me?" she would whisper. "No one. I deserve a prince, not an ordinary man." Whenever her mother asked for help, Amara always refused. "Amara, please help me cook this rice before your father returns," her mother would plead. But Amara would roll her eyes and say, "My hands are too delicate for hard work. Let the others do it." Her mother often sighed in disappointment, but Amara never cared. As time passed, many of her childhood friends got married. Ada married a fisherman. Ngozi married a hunter. Esther married a hardworking farmer. Though their husbands were not wealthy, they loved and respected their wives. Instead of being happy for them, Amara mocked them cruelly. "Ada, your husband looks like he wrestles goats for a living. Ngozi, your man's bicycle is older than the village chief. Esther's husband can't even afford decent sandals." The women pretended not to care, but her words wounded them deeply. Still, Amara remained convinced that one day a wealthy prince would come riding through the village just for her. One bright market afternoon, the village square overflowed with life. Traders displayed tomatoes, peppers, and baskets of fresh vegetables while children laughed and chased one another between the stalls. Amara dressed herself carefully in expensive wrappers and shining beads. She rubbed scented oil on her skin until it glowed and walked through the market proudly, swinging her waist like royalty. People stared. "She is beautiful," an old woman muttered softly, but pride has blinded her heart. Amara ignored them all. Suddenly, she collided with someone. Her basket fell to the ground, scattering fruits everywhere. Tomatoes also tumbled across the dusty road. The person she bumped into was Mama Grace, oldest and most respected widow in the village. The elderly woman fell painfully to her knees. The crowd gasped. "Oh no! Mama Grace!" But instead of helping her, Amara frowned angrily and said, "Why did you block my path like a blind goat? Look at my clothes. You ruined everything." Mama Grace looked up calmly and said, "My daughter, forgive me. My eyes are weak because of age." "Then stay indoors," Amara shouted. "Don't embarrass yourself in public." The villagers immediately begged her to apologize. "She is old enough to be your grandmother." But Amara hissed and walked away proudly. Mama Grace slowly gathered her tomatoes. Then she lifted her trembling hands toward the sky. "Amara," she declared, her voice suddenly powerful, "the beauty you worship shall disappear like smoke. Your pride will become your punishment." The market fell silent. "You shall lose your beauty until you learn humility by living beside the ugliest man your eyes have ever seen." Even the wind seemed to stop blowing. That night, Amara noticed strange cracks spreading across her mirror. The next morning, her scream echoed through the entire village. Her smooth skin had turned rough and patchy. Her shining hair fell out in clumps. Her bright eyes became dull, and her once beautiful face looked tired and swollen. "No, "This cannot be me," she cried. Children ran away from her in fear. Her mother wept bitterly. "My daughter, pride has destroyed what God gave you." Amara quickly regretted everything. "I will apologize. I will beg for forgiveness." But when they searched for Mama Grace, nobody knew where she had gone. Days became weeks. Amara stopped leaving the house. Villagers whispered about how beauty had vanished from her life overnight. One evening, a mysterious traveler arrived in the village. Her face was hidden beneath a veil. She delivered a strange message. "Your curse can only end if you marry the oldest and ugliest man alive, not out of desperation, but with genuine humility." Amara cried for many nights, but deep down she knew she deserved the lesson. A few days later, a strange old man arrived at their doorstep. His name was Bath. He was tall, bent like an old tree branch, with wrinkled skin, and clothes that smelled like damp smoke. His feet dragged heavily across the ground as he walked. "I have come to marry Amara," he announced. The villagers nearly fainted from shock. Amara stared at him in horror. "He looks worse than my curse," she thought. But when she remembered her reflection, and the warning from the traveler, slowly, she nodded. "Yes, I will marry him." Their wedding was small and quiet. No joyful music filled the air. No dancers celebrated. That night, Amara sat inside Bat's tiny hut while he snored loudly enough to shake the wooden walls. His habits disgusted her. He complained constantly, ordered her around, and criticized everything she did. Yet Amara endured it all quietly. For the first time in her life, she began serving others without pride. She woke before sunrise to fetch water. She cooked meals. She washed clothes. She helped elderly women carry water. She apologized sincerely to the friends she once mocked. Little by little, her heart changed. One afternoon, she saw an elderly woman who fell beside the market road. Without hesitation, Amara rushed to help her, cleaned her wounds, and comforted her gently. Also, she now could eat and drink with those she once despised. Unknown to Amara, Mama Grace, the woman that laid a curse on her, was mysteriously watching her through her mystical mirror. A small smile crossed the old woman's face. "She has finally learned," she whispered. The following day, Mama Grace appeared to Amara on her way from the stream, surrounded by bright golden light. "My daughter," she said softly, "true beauty does not live in the face. It lives in the heart. You have become beautiful at last. Take this cream, when you get home rub it on your face, your beauty will return again." Before Amara knew what was happening, the old woman had disappeared. When Amara got home, she applied the cream, and to her amazement, her beauty returned again. But this time, something was different. Her face glowed with kindness instead of pride. Her eyes carried peace instead of vanity. When her husband woke up, he looked shocked, and said, "You are too beautiful to be my wife," he stammered. The villagers rejoiced when they saw her. "The curse is broken." Amara smiled warmly. Not long afterward, a noble prince from a distant kingdom visited the village. He had heard stories about the proud girl who became humble through suffering. When he met Amara, he admired not only her beauty but also her gentle spirit. They eventually married in a grand celebration filled with music, dancing, laughter, and joy. But Amara never returned to her old ways. She treated servants and everyone with kindness. She respected the elderly. She cared for the poor and welcomed children warmly. Sometimes, she even visited Bat to bring him food and clean clothing. From that day forward, Amara understood something she had once ignored. Outer beauty may attract attention, but only kindness and humility can win true love and lasting respect.